Hey everyone, welcome to my first video here on Schoology for the 2021 school year. My name is Mr. Russell and this is for English 2. I welcome all of you to our class. This isn't the best way to do introductions, but I wanted to at least put out a video prior to the start of our live sessions next week, just so you can get a little bit more familiar with my class, with the way that I'm doing things, the way that I'm kind of conducting things in class. So we will take you through a couple slides. I'm going to start with kind of an agenda slide, let you know what I'm going to talk about. This should be a fairly brief video, but it will at least give you kind of an indication of how things will go once we start back to school next week. So a little bit about me. I know a lot of you in English 2. I actually had you in 8th grade social studies, so it's great to see so many names on my roster that I recognize, that I remember, and that I'm really excited to see. Wish I could be in person, but online will have to do for now. So welcome to English 2. Again, my name is Chad Russell, and I've been teaching at DSA for several years. I think this is my 13th or 14th year. I took a year off. And when I came back, I moved in and was teaching 8th grade social studies and AP government and politics. Prior to that, I've taught English and social studies classes, everything from AP world history to English 8, English 9, English 10, and then AP language and composition. And this year I'm teaching AP literature and composition. So I've had a lot of experience teaching a lot of different courses. I love being at DSA. I wish we could be in the building, but at least here's an image at the bottom of the screen to remind us of what the front of the building looks like. So that's a little bit about me. If you want to know anything else, please feel free to ask. I'm always open to sharing some more, and I will once we get to know each other a little bit more next week. So I want to do a little bit with a class tour. I'm going to start by getting into my Schoology account. Hopefully by now you've all received the letter from Mr. McWright explaining that the district has told us all that we have to use Schoology as a platform. I'm fairly familiar with it. I used it for my courses last semester when we went remote in April and May, um, but I'm not sure how familiar you all are with it. So we'll get some of that information a little bit later. So a welcome to class tour is just going to take you to my Schoology page, show you a little bit about what it looks like, where you can find some things, and then we'll end with some methods of contact. So if you need to contact me prior to the start of school, we'll get you some information on how to contact me. So I will tell you that normally in typical years I use my website quite often, and you can still find information on the DSA website. If you go down to Chad Russell, you can still click on that. It will take you to my website. I think I have last year's information up there for English 2 on daily assignments. I will not be updating it this year. In fact, I'm going to remove the information and just direct people to the Schoology link. Because everything will be in Schoology, the website is really just going to be a way for you to get some resources if you need. I do have a resource page that just has some really cool links that you can explore when you want, some things online that might help you with other classes. I like to update this as often as possible. So my website is really going to be a place for resources, and it'll give you some information on my schedule. You can find my email here. Office hours I'll explain in a little bit, but once we get back into the building, there's my classroom and my office. So really this is going to be the use of the website through DSA that you'll use this year. I know a lot of you were familiar with using it in 8th grade when I taught you social studies, but unfortunately we won't be using it this year. Everything will be in the Schoology page. And again, if you receive Mr. McWright's email, you know exactly what, hopefully you've gone through the video on Schoology and you know exactly where to find your courses. When you log in through the student portal, under see all apps, you can click on Schoology and it will take you directly to your Schoology page. If you don't want to go through student portal, you can actually type in, you'll see right up here in the web browser, uh, I'm sorry, let me go back. You'll see right up here in the web browser, schoology.dpsk12.org. If you type that into the URL, the web browser, it'll take you directly to Schoology, and you can sign in with your .NET account. Important thing to note, please always, always, always use Google Chrome. That's the web browser that Schoology works best with. If you use Safari, if you use Firefox, if you use Internet Explorer, I don't know if anyone uses that anymore, any other web browser, you will come across issues. So if you do not already have Google Chrome on your computer that you're using, please download that browser. It's free to use. It should be available for you to use. That's the one that works best with Schoology. Always also log in with your .NET account. Otherwise, you won't be able to access anything because there's a lot of linking up with Google that we do in Schoology, and that will become clearer once we start class next week. So you'll see each of your classes, and these are the classes that I'm teaching, but you'll see each of your classes should have an image up here, hopefully one that stands out for whatever course you're taking. And then you can look right down here and see the period. Whenever you see the course, for me, it's period 1. That's the period that you have that class right there. So if you don't pull up your schedule and you want to know what period you have a course, just look right on Schoology, and it's the dash, whatever number that is, that's the period of day that you have that course. So when you click into it, it'll take you to the course itself, and this is the main web page. Okay, now you got to this point, so you know exactly how to get here, which is a good thing. Right now, the video that I'm recording doesn't appear because I haven't finished it yet. So it should be the first thing that you see when you log into the page. Underneath that, the survey that I'm going to ask you all to fill out, you can see right below that. It's unpublished right now, but I will have it published, and you should see the start of your survey. I'm going to ask that all of you, if you have some time, to fill out that survey. It's very quick, very easy to fill out. It just gives me some idea about where you are mentally, physically, emotionally, how you're feeling about the year, how you're feeling about Schoology, just some basic information and a place for you to ask me some questions that I can address next week when we have our first live session. So I will ask that you fill that survey out. If you scroll down here to welcome, you can click the picture, and when you click that picture, it'll actually open up the syllabus. The syllabus is a PDF. You can download it and keep it for yourself, but this will explain a little bit about what we're doing, the policies for the school year. I do have an entire page right down here for remote learning. So this is just kind of some of my asks for remote learning, things about being on time to the live sessions. If you can't attend the live sessions, please email with me through, just email me something saying I can't attend the live session. I will check in with you later. I need some kind of communication from you, otherwise I have to mark you absent. And we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. Most of the live sessions will probably not be recorded. There's some things that we can't, of course, record in sessions and post online, especially if we have interactive conversations with students. But if there's ever a lecture, something along these lines, I'll probably try and record that and post it online so you can watch it later if you need to. Makeup work due dates, you can kind of take a look at that. I'm very flexible about due dates and makeup work, especially if you communicate with me ahead of time. There are certain things I have to adhere to and follow in terms of DPS guidelines, but just communicate with me. This is a strange time we find ourselves in, so I just want to make sure that your communication is there, and it'll help us all. And then down here, you'll find a schedule. And the schedule is definitely subject to change. This is a typical schedule that we followed for English 2. English 2 used to be called American Literature and Composition. And when it changed to English 2 a few years ago, they changed the curriculum. But because all of you are taking either US History or AP US History, we have always traditionally followed in the English class with kind of an American literature focus. So much of the literature we're reading this year will be American literature focused, and it's kind of moving along the same lines as you would move in a US history course. We start out a little different, but we look at literary movements, we look at different types of literature throughout the ages. That's kind of the format, and I'll talk more about that next week. But just know, because we're not really sure how this remote learning will work and how long it's going to go on, this is definitely subject to change. We may not cover everything that's on this list. We may change out works occasionally throughout the semester. So just be ready for shifts and changes, and I will always announce those in class. I will tell you that all of the texts we're using will be available online for you. I did send out an email last week, and there's a book checkout on Wednesday the 19th. I have a few copies of The Crucible and The Awakening, which are two novels that we'll be reading for sure this semester. If you want to get up to the school on the 19th, you can check those out. I have a few copies, not many, because a lot weren't returned from last year. But every text that we use will be available in some format online, and you're always welcome to get your own text if you're able. Some of you may even have these sitting around at home. If you have brothers or sisters that had class and bought the texts, they may have these. So let me know if you have questions about the texts. It doesn't matter the version that you use if you're getting your own, because none of these are translated works. So they're all written. So it doesn't really matter the form that you get. But again, they will all be available online for you. Okay. So take your time, read through the syllabus at your leisure. You can see right up here, it talks about office hours. I will talk more about this next week, but the bell schedule dictates that we'll all have office hours in the afternoons, all your teachers. Mine are going to be by appointment. So just simply let me know that you're going to stop by, and I'll open up and be sitting in my office hours. It will just be a typical Google Meet link that I'll post online. That's the syllabus. Right down here, you'll see the live class link. This is not live right now, but normally on the day that we have class, and you can see that right here, we'll only be live the days we have class. When you come into Schoology, you'll be able to click on this image, and that will take you directly to our Google Meet for that day. But I don't make it live until the days we have classes, and then it's unpublished on the days that we don't meet. And then down here, this is typically how I'll organize my folders. I will organize it by week, where I'll say week 1, August 24th to August 28th. I'll put something in the write up down here telling you what's found in there. And then when you open up the folder, you'll see that it'll be organized with days of the week. So we will meet just typically like we do in school on black-white days. Mondays and Tuesdays will be when I have English 2. So when you click inside, there's nothing in there right now, but when you click inside the folder, you'll see anything that relates to class on those days. And then obviously to get back, you can either click previous and that will take you to the last menu, or you can click right up here and that'll take you back to the home page. In terms of class structure, that is essentially all that I'm going to show you right now about access to things in the class. I just want to give you an idea of what things will look like when we start next week and where to find the live class link. The rest of this format will be talked about and discussed next week when we do have our first live class. But on Monday or Tuesday, whenever I have you, just make sure you log in and click on where it says live class link. That image will be available to click, and then click on it, and that'll take you right into the Google Meet. Okay, to finish things up, I want to talk briefly about methods of contact. The two methods you can see on my syllabus are my email, chad_russell@dpsk12.org. The .org email is the best web address to reach me. Sometimes if you use my Google email, which is .net, it doesn't reach me, and I don't always check that Gmail. So the .org is the best place to reach me and the best email to use. My phone number, 720-424-1791. That can be found on the DSA homepage as well. But feel free to call and leave a message. It will not ring through to me, but I will have access for voicemail here at home, and I can try and call you back. Phone is probably the slowest method to contact me. I'd say email is the fastest. I'm able to respond to that much quicker. And the last thing, I just want to thank you for taking time to watch this short video. Please take some time to fill out the brief survey that you can find below this video. Again, it's just an initial survey to let me know how you are, let me know your comfort level with our new platform, and gives you the chance to ask any questions you have about remote learning, about class, about anything that you need that I can address in class with everybody next week. I'm looking forward to starting with you. I wish it were in person, but class will look very similar. It's just going to be using technology. All of us here at DSA are trying to make things as normal as possible so we can get back to some kind of learning. So I look forward to that next week, and I will see you all on August 24th or 25th. Thank you all.